efficient and very good at body weight movements.
We only have 3 rookies in this heat of 15. It is just filtered with past games competitors and fantastic athletes.
Danielle Horan in lane number 14 is one of those rookies. In lane 2, Ashley Caribou finished second in the Northern California Regional, one of those rookies, but someone who could do very well here.
Another college swimmer. I expect to see a lot of good things out of Ashley Caribou. She knows her strength here coming in. She's in a great heat with some other women that if they're gonna put the pressure on, they may not be swimmers, they may not have a gymnastic background, but they're still athletes that are CrossFitters that can do these events, and so they're gonna push her.
Right next to Caribou in lane 1, Michelle Letendre out of the Canada East region, a former competitive swimmer. Someone again who can move through the water efficiently, no problem on the bar usually, but she should be able to open up some distance between herself and her fellow competitors with that swimming background.
Swimming and water polo, so she's some other technique in the water as well.
So the event, for the first time in CrossFit Games history, we are at a pool, but we are mixing swimming with another movement. So it's 10 rounds of a 25-yard swim and then 3 bar muscle-ups followed by another 25-yard swim. There is a 25-minute time cap.
Yeah, the key to this workout, we've already seen two heats go. You need to be consistent in the water. You can't take too long and let that time in the water eat up the clock time for you.
We saw in the first heat a lot of women very early change their swimming technique. All of them started out freestyle. Some went to a side stroke, some went to a breaststroke, and then in the second heat, it was Rory Zambard who grew up swimming, staying with the freestyle all the way through and finishing with a time of 14:06.5 seconds. She is your current leader. This is the final heat here in the opening event of the 2013 Reebok CrossFit Games. And we are underway, lanes 1 and lanes 2. Keep an eye on them. That is Michelle Letendre in lane 1, Ashley Caribou in lane 2, and right now, both of those athletes out front early, and also in lane number 13, Cara Webb. So just about every woman hitting the deck and getting to the pull-up rig for those 3 bar muscle-ups. And remember, they have to drop off the bar after every rep. And that's something that really affects shorter athletes.
It absolutely does. Some of the athletes actually complained yesterday. They were upset about that rule. Some of them, they're so strong. All these women, they can stay on the bar. They can do 3 consecutive. Definitely choose up your time, and if you're a shorter athlete, you have an even higher jump to make.
So in lane number 6, it's Christy Phillips, first back into the water. In lane 9, Telena Fortunato is there. And in lane number 10, or lane number 11, Lindsay Valenzuela also there. Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet, meanwhile, missed a rep on her bar muscle-up. Very, very uncommon to see from her.
Really surprised at that. Could be a little bit of nerves. It's still their first event. They got to watch 2 heats. Sometimes it's a little bit more pressure, Sean, coming into this last heat. You feel the pressure. You know there's times to beat now.
So in lane 10, Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet making the turn and heading back down for round 2. Meanwhile, Lindsay Valenzuela in lane 11 is back up for her second round of bar muscle-ups. In lane number 15, Ruth Anderson Harrell is finishing up her first round, so she's really struggling on that bar. But plenty of women now on round 2. Michelle Letendre is there. Ashley Caribou is there. Jen Jones. Also Jennifer Smith. So a lot of women keeping that lead pacer. Telena Fortunato in lane 9. But now in lane 1, it's Michelle Letendre from Canada East. Both she and Christy Phillips, the first 2 women back in the water. Letendre at the bottom of your screen, Phillips in the middle, and it's Letendre chewing up ground now and trying to put some distance between herself and Christy Phillips.
Michelle Letendre is she's a strong athlete, and this year she has a different kind of confidence to her. Talking with her yesterday, she just seems so much different than I saw from last year. She just grew in this year. She's made a lot of gains. She set some goals over the year, and she's already hit those goals. So that's definitely what you want going into the games for your confidence.
Michelle Letendre, the 27-year-old, from CrossFit Plateau back onto the bar. And Latondra, one of the shorter athletes, but not having much trouble getting herself back up onto that bar. She's through one, and she's using that block to sort of step up onto, not fully, but with one leg, and sort of help propel herself over that bar. One more to go for Latondra. Meanwhile, Christy Phillips in lane 6 has 2 more to go, so Latondra still in the lead.
Christy Phillips is always a strong athlete. She's already resorting to the single arm pull. We're very early on in this event, and she is having a little trouble up on that bar.
So now Latondra in the lead ahead of Christy Phillips, who just got herself back in the water. But Michelle Latondra, if she continues to move like this, is going to be tough to chase down. The time to beat, 14 minutes, 6.5 seconds. That belongs to Rory Zambard. She put that up in the second heat. This is the third and final heat of the opening event here at the 2013 Reebok CrossFit Games, The Pool. We are live from the Willett Aquatic Center in Irvine, California.
One of Michelle's goals for the year, specifically for the games, is to make it to the final day. And if she wants to make it to the final day, she has to start that off right now with a solid performance and set herself up in the rankings pretty high.
So Latondra on round 4, making that leap to the bar. And that's her first rep, and she will go back to the chalk. Puts her right foot up on that block and then jumps back up onto that bar. So we saw some athletes actually putting both feet, then having to jump in sort of a 90-degree angle to get themselves on there. Latondra just using that 1 foot approach, getting up there, and now one more bar muscle up for her. And then she will get back in the pool to close out round 4. So Michelle Latondra, as we approach the 5-minute mark, is making quick work and quickly reeling in Rory Zambard, who has the time to beat at 14 minutes, 6.5 seconds. So Latondra all by herself in first place. Christy Phillips was pushing her for that position, but Phillips now closing out her 4th round of bar muscle-ups and falling behind Michelle Latondra. The time to beat in the upper left-hand corner of your screen, and Michelle Latondra looking a lot like Rory Zambard here. Neither one of them broke from that freestyle, and she is looking very efficient in the water.
Both in the water and on the bar as well. I'm impressed with this. She's looking very, very nice and composed. One thing she said is that she knows herself as an athlete. This year and there's usually that all of a sudden it clicks where you know yourself and you don't just go haphazardly through the workouts. And I really feel like we're seeing that right here.
Now in lane 2, that's Ashley Caribou getting out of the pool, so she currently sits in 2nd place. She's starting her 5th set of 3-bar muscle-ups. Meanwhile, Michelle Latondra next to her in lane 1 on the left of your screen. She is now through 2 bar muscle-ups. Very, very methodical on each of these, doing the same thing every time she jumps off the bar, going to the chalk, puts her right foot up on the block, and then propels herself up onto the bar. Ashley Caribou now with 1 more to go as well, so Caribou starting to make up ground, and Latondra quickly back into the water as she will try to put more space between herself and Ashley Caribou, who is trying to get to Latondra for the lead here in this heat, and probably the overall lead and the win in this event. 100 points on the line here.
For Caribou, she is a rookie, first time at the game. She has a lot of nerves right now, sitting in between 2 women that have been to the games, that have been already, know what this feels like. That for Ashley Caribou, as a rookie, if she can keep herself this close to Latondra and pull out a 2nd or even surpass her, that would be an amazing start to her games career.
The winner gets 100 points, 2nd place gets 95, and then it's 5 fewer points until 6th place. Spots 7 through 30 get 2 fewer points as you move down the list, and then spots 31 through 46, 1 fewer point. The most points in the CrossFit Games get you on top of the podium as Latondra now starting round number 6 of her bar muscle-ups. The time to beat, 14 minutes, 6.5 seconds. That belongs to Rory Zambard, who put that up in the 2nd heat. Ashley Caribou now on the bar beside Latondra, and now Caribou starting to close the gap as we have a 2-woman battle for first place here. Latondra is done, Caribou with 1 more, so Latondra continuing to hold about the same lead that she had at the end of round number 5. Latondra will make the touch of the wall, move back down the pool, and that will be the beginning of round number 7. So now Caribou is in the pool, and Ashley Caribou about 4 or 5 lengths behind Michelle Latondra, who goes with the flip turn, and Latondra now passing Caribou in lane 2. Caribou not keeping the same pace in the water as Michelle Letendre. Letendre is just frantic in that pool.
She's comfortable and she's doing what she needs to. I want you to notice also, she knows exactly the length of this pool. She's not wearing goggles. Almost all of the women here have goggles on, including Caribou. They probably want their eyes open, want to see where the wall is. Letendre knows herself in the pool. She probably doesn't even need to look. She knows when to do that flip turn. She knows her stroke rate, and she knows when to get out of the pool.
So now Caribou out of the pool as well. She'll have to dry her hands off, and that gives Michelle Letendre to get a 1-rep lead on her. Now 2 to go for Michelle Letendre before she will close out round number 7. Ashley Caribou on her first rep. Letendre back off the bar, back to the chalk, and the same thing every time. Now she slips off, so now this is where the height advantage comes in, and now possibly an opening for Ashley Caribou. 1 rep to go for both athletes.
She feels the pressure, definitely, but she needs to stay in her own head. She needs to keep her own game because it's working.
So now Letendre's back in the water. Now here comes Ashley Caribou, who is just about a length behind Michelle Letendre, but Letendre has been able to move very efficiently through the water, and this is where she has made up her ground and been able to put some distance between herself and the rest of the field. Letendre on the turn now, and here comes Ashley Caribou.
Okay, this is what it's all about. All right, we know everybody can swim now. They can do their bar muscle-ups, but this is the suck factor that we talk about. This is when it's all mental. These athletes are fantastic. They are strong, they know how to push, but it hurts. And this is where we're gonna see how hard they're willing to go and how long they can tolerate that pain.
This is round 8. They have 10 rounds, and both women neck and neck, and they're out of the pool. 3 bar muscle-ups to go. That slip in the last round definitely costing Michelle Letendre. She is the first on the bar, and now through 1 repetition. Ashley Caribou still drying off her hands and going to the chalk, and she will now get her first bar muscle-up. Caribou is up and over. Letendre now on rep number 2. So Michelle Letendre hanging on to a slim lead over Ashley Caribou. The time to beat, 14 minutes, 6.5 seconds. That belongs to Rory Zambard, and it is very much in danger as Michelle Letendre wants those 100 points, and she is back in the pool now, opening up more of a lead on Ashley Caribou.
She needs that because she's getting a little frantic on the bar. She's getting a little nervous. You can see that she's not as composed. She wants to set that lead and give herself a little more time for the next round when she gets out of the pool.
We're approaching the 10.5-minute mark. Michelle Letendre has regained a bit of the lead that she lost in the last round, and now passing Ashley Caribou, who is making her way back down the pool and will touch the wall and begin her 9th round.
This is what you want. As an athlete, you want to come here, you want to get pushed, you want to see what you can do, and that's what these 2 athletes are doing right now. They're pushing each other. They're going to set the record right now for the men to go after.
Michelle Letendre has the time to beat squarely in her sights in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. That mark belongs to Rory Zambard, but most likely not for much longer. Letendre lost her swim cap. She's drying off her hands. She is back on the bar now, and Ashley Caribou right next to her, drying off her hands and going to the chalk. Letendre through 1 of 3 reps here in her 9th of 10 rounds.
Letendre, no goggles, now no cap. She doesn't care. She's going to get through this, and she knows that if she can start her games with a solid first place, that is what you want to do. You need to start yourself off big, start yourself off at the top. You don't want to crawl your way from the bottom and get back up. It's a long way to go.
And remember, after today, the athletes will rest on Thursday, and then they will get back to competition on Friday. So Michelle Letendre trying to pick up some momentum and now opening up more of a lead on Ashley Caribou as Letendre will make the turn and begin round number 10, her final round. She has less than 3 minutes to go before she hits the time to beat. So Rory Zambard watching and hoping that her time stands and gets her 100 points. But now Michelle Letendre back down the pool all by herself in first place. Now it's a matter of whether or not she can reel in Rory Zambard.
Gives me chills watching her. This is what you want as an athlete. This is what it feels like to be at the game. This is the best that it can feel like. You take the lead, it's back and forth, and then you set that pace. You say, I'm gonna go right here, and I'm gonna make the distance and separate you and me.
It looked like in round 8 that Ashley Caribou was going to be able to overtake Letendre. Letendre had a slip on the bar, but now she's back on the bar for her 3rd and final set of 3 bar muscle-ups. We're past the 12.5-minute mark. The time to beat, 14:06.5, and Michelle Letendre looks like she's going to open her 2013 Reebok CrossFit Games with a victory. One more bar muscle up to go for Letendre.
She definitely does better without Caravu breathing down her neck and being right next to her on the bar.
Letendre struggling through that last rep, but that is it. Now back in the pool, one more trip down, so Michelle Letendre has 100 points in her grasp. Final length of the pool for Michelle Letendre, and she will pick up the victory here and start off her 2013 Reebok CrossFit Games in winning fashion. Letendre needs to get out of the pool. She has plenty of time to do it. So Michelle Letendre, 100 points from the athlete from Canada East.
Perfect first place finish. That is beautiful. What I love is that it wasn't all just pretty swimming. You saw her heart, you saw the grit, you saw her dig in and just grind through it, and that is what this competition is all about. That is what I love seeing, and that is what makes her feel so good standing there knowing she took first and gave it her all. She laid it out there.
13 minutes, 19.2 seconds for Michelle Letendre as she will win event number 1, the first of 12 scored events. Meanwhile, down in lane number 13, that is Cara Webb in second place. So Cara Webb, 13:55.9, 95 points for Cara Webb. And now Ashley Caravu struggling here on the bar muscle ups and losing ground.
You know, and I have to say it, Sean, she is a rookie, and I think it was a rookie mistake what she did right there. She tried to keep pace with Letendre, and it wasn't her pace. And what that did is that's where she made her mistake, and it separated her, letting Cara come in and just take that second place from her.
So Cara Webb signing her card. There is Samantha Briggs. So Sam Briggs is in with a time of 14:16.4. So she will sit in 4th place overall. So a great start from Sam Briggs, who is the popular favorite to replace Annie Thorisdottir as the CrossFit Games champion, but 11 events to go.
I'm definitely keeping my eye on Sam Briggs for sure through this competition. Took last year off because of a patellar fracture, but she didn't stop training. She is back stronger than ever.
Ashley Caravu has now closed out her event, so Caravu a time of 15:02.3. And now Camilla Blanc-Bazinet on the left of your screen. Bazinet on her final set of 3 bar muscle ups, and she's an athlete. If you keep her up on that bar, she's going to motor through them, but jumping off, that really puts her at a disadvantage.
Absolutely put her at the disadvantage because she is so strong, but I was surprised she struggled in the beginning. So I'm interested to talk to her later and see what's going through her head in this, and maybe jumping off the bar was what was in her head there.
So a couple lengths to go for Camilla Blanc-Bazinet in her final round. She is out of the pool. So the other athlete from Canada East, Camilla Blanc-Bazinet, she is in with a time of 15 minutes, 46 seconds.
She's a well-rounded athlete, even not taking a top 3 spot right here in this event. Camille always does well in the other events, so I don't think it's going to be terrible for her, but she's going to have to work.
Telena Fortunato got out of the pool and stood on her lane number. She has to get to her name to close out the event, so that cost her a couple seconds there. We'll see where it costs her in the standings, but Telena Fortunato comes in with a time of 16 minutes, 4.6 seconds. A couple more athletes still in the pool, none of them in danger of hitting that 25-minute time cap. Elizabeth Akinwale is on her final round of bar muscle-ups when she gets out of the pool. Jen Jones in lane 3. She has one more round to go. And then in lane 15, Ruth Anderson-Harrell also on her 9th round. Next to her is Danielle Horan. She is on her final set of bar muscle-ups. And then in lane number 12, it's Kristen Clever. She is also on her final round. Clever, the 2010 CrossFit Games champion. She came in with a sprained ankle. We saw her walking around the headquarters hotel the other day and limping very noticeably.
Such a shame. This past Sunday, she was playing basketball. Just a leisurely game of basketball, but so sad for Chris. I asked her about how her shoulder was feeling. She said her shoulders are feeling great. She had her shoulder injury back at the regional. And she said that's fine, but the ankle the ankle is what she's nervous
about. Yeah, and that ankle's taking some abuse right there. She's using it to push off the block and then coming down hard on it. And you can see she's sort of favoring it a little bit, sort of landing on her left leg more when she comes down. But one more now for Kristen Clever. She will get inside the 25-minute time cap. She is the 2010 CrossFit Games champion. So Kristen Clever in the pool for the final time here in the first of 12 sport events.
But if I'm Chris Clever, I'd rather see a pool event where I'm not sprinting for the first event to open up my games and know that I absolutely can't do that.
So lane 5 is Rebecca Voigt. She is done with her bar muscle ups. In lane number 12, Kristen Clever out of the pool. She will finish up. So Kristen Clever with a final time of 18 minutes, 18.8 seconds. So Clever, 18:18.8. And now it's Becca Voigt in lane 5. Rebecca Voigt getting out of the pool, but that is the woman who is 100 points richer after this event, Michelle Letendre, a time of 13 minutes, 19.2 seconds. So she will get a victory to open up her 2013 Reebok CrossFit Games as we close out the third and final heat for the women. The men hit the pool next. We'll be back with continuing live coverage of the 2013 Reebok CrossFit Games.
CrossFit endurance methodology gives me way more time in my life. I'm not consumed with 100-mile weeks to train for my event. It was just time on my legs. I would run like 25, 40 miles or so a week. And learning how to train properly without breaking down my body, I feel stronger going into races instead of fatigued.
The same way that CrossFitters have taken fitness to a new level, we do the same thing with the equipment.
Since being involved, owning affiliates, Rogue Fitness gear has made a gym owner's life that much better.
With CrossFit, they know what they want. And because we keep the work local in our shop, I can make changes based on their demands right away.
Do you have Rogue equipment? People look for that when they look at a gym. If it says Rogue on it, that's the mark of quality equipment.
Great job on those 400s today, of course.
Cheers, well done on the lifting. Shocker.
You want to settle this?
Come on then.
Let's go.
Come on, Venezuela, put you back into it.
I am! Speak American!
It's English, you daft bastard.
I will snatch you, so God help me.
Gotta catch me first, biatch.
Ugh.
People assume the life of a professional athlete is all glamour. My life is pretty simple. Family is important to me. Getting in the water is important to me. Being fit is important to me. Having some time to reflect in the woods is important to me. But the most important thing to me, getting home.
Welcome back to the Willett Aquatic Center in Irvine, California, as we have been through 3 heats for the women in the opening event here of the 2013 Reebok CrossFit Games, the pool. The men are up next. Michelle Letendre getting herself some congratulations from her fellow competitors as she picks up a win and some money.
She had a solid performance, but not only just technical, more the heart and what she gave. She gave it her all. She was able to get through the workout by just staying consistent and relying on knowing herself to get through that workout.
Michelle Letendre was a woman who last year came out of the regionals ranked pretty high. Looked like she was going to do very well in the games, had a disappointing performance there, knew what she had to do to get herself where she wanted to. Got herself back into the games, finished second place in the Canada East region. And now it looks like she got things squared away because she started off very well and will carry some momentum into the next event later on today and also into the weekend. 100 points for Michelle Letendre.
1 year of training does make a difference, and that this year is her mental year, that she gained the confidence. She set some goals, and as an athlete, the mental side is just as important as the physical. So there's definitely a lot more we have to go in the CrossFit Games, but this is a great way to start it off for her.
Let's go down to poolside for Miranda Oldroyd in the official awards presentation.
Rory Zambard. Your second place finisher, winning $2,000, Kara Webb. And your first place finisher with a time of 13:18, winning $3,000, Michelle Latondra.
So a very happy Michelle Latondra, $3,000 in her pocket and 100 points on the scoreboard for the woman from Canada East. In third place, overall, Rory Zambard, who had that time to beat.
Nice, solid performance. She was the first one that we saw that was able to go consistent in the pool all the way through.
Then in second place, Cara Webb. This is a two-person battle for a while, but then Cara Webb down on the other end of the pool was able to overtake Ashley Caribou and finish in second place.
Swimming background, she used that definitely to her advantage. Another previous games athlete.
And then finally in first, Michelle Latondra only made one mistake. That was a slip off of the bar, but very good in the pool, and that's where she won this event.
Had a game plan, and she knew how to execute.
So Michelle Latondra currently sits on top of the women's leaderboard after one event. 11 more to go. Amanda Kranz is with your winner.
All right, thanks, guys. Michelle, congratulations. First of all, you said you're surprised you've never won an event before. So what's going through your head right now?
It's overwhelmingly amazing. It was fun, a great workout for me, so I'm really happy with how I did.
It looked like you had a really good workout with this and that you were pushing yourself hard the whole way. I had a front row seat and I was just watching you go back and forth the whole time.
Yeah, I love swimming. I was a swimmer. I swam 3 years. I played water polo. So when they announced this workout, I was like, man, I may have a chance and gonna push it as hard as I can because it's the one thing that I really know I can do well.
So you knew you'd be strong with the swimming. What did you think when they mixed in the bar muscle ups to the workout?
I'm not amazing at bar muscle ups. I'm good at them. I very rarely miss, so I was super happy, and I thought it was a little bit weird they would ask us to do one at a time, but I mean, a really great combination for me.
It definitely was. And your $3,000, Richard. Congratulations.
Good surprise, too. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sean, back to you.
Thanks, Amanda. Michelle Latondra didn't have as much fun as those kids, but certainly put a smile on her face by winning this event. Your overall standings, and it's Michelle Latondra with a much-needed 100 points heading into the rest of the events.
Not only is Michelle Latondra stronger this year, but the whole field of play on these women. In years past, bar muscle-ups would have knocked some women out, and this would have ended their games right here, but not this year. These women are strong, and they came to compete.
It's Cara Webb and Rory Zambard rounding out the top three. The women are done. The men are up next. The first of 12 scored events. The pool will have continuing live coverage from the World Aquatic Center from Irvine, California next.